What is the Enneagram? So this is a question I have been asked many times. I have read a lot of articles about it. I've even seen things on social media about what the Enneagram is and even a little bit about its origins. And the answers have been interesting. Hi, I'm Enneagram Fox, and I am a type 4, just trying to be a happier human. I have heard that your Enneagram type is on a scale. I've heard that wings are whatever you want them to be. I have even heard that the entire system is demonic. If you are new here, welcome. Thank you so much for being here today. If you are not new here, thank you so much for coming back. I thought it would be fun to kick off the new year by introducing people to the Enneagram, or maybe just helping them on their journey to discovering their type. Just as a reminder, please click the like button if you do enjoy this video, and consider clicking that link in my description that goes to buy me a coffee so you can buy me a coffee. So before I go into the 9 types, I wanted to give a kind of a brief introduction to what the Enneagram is. If you look up the Enneagram of personality on Wikipedia, there's a lot of the origins are disputed. In my opinion, I think that the origins of the Enneagram are really fuzzy because the entire system draws on a lot of different beliefs, spiritualities, and even psychological systems. Therefore, I think it's just really hard to pinpoint the origin of the Enneagram. Also, from my understanding, the Enneagram is not super old. It's not thousands of years old. It's not even hundreds of years old. All right, let me go into what Wikipedia says. Contemporary approaches are principally derived from the teachings of the Bolivian psycho-spiritual teacher Oscar Icazo from the 1950s and the Chilean psychiatrist Claudia Naranjo from the 1970s. Naranjo's theories were also influenced by earlier teachings about personality by George Gurdjieff and the fourth way tradition of the first half of the 20th century. Of course, I had to look up what the fourth way tradition was. And on Wikipedia, basically what it said was the origins are fuzzy. I know that's not super helpful, but maybe I'll explore it in a different video. So now that I've touched on the origins of the Enneagram, I wanted to go into each of the 9 types that are represented in that fun Enneagram symbol that we all see. Type 1. Type 1s are motivated by a need to be virtuous and right. They often say they were fun-loving, carefree children who learned that there is right and wrong in the world, and you definitely always want to be on the right side. They can come across as know-it-alls and be bossy. They often struggle to let go of decisions and situations that don't align with their inner moral system. Some fictional type 1s are Hermione Granger in the Harry Potter books, Gandalf in The Lord of the Rings, and Monica Geller in Friends. Type 2. Type 2s are motivated by a need to be accepted and wanted. They often say they were emotional and imaginative children who learned that not everyone is accepting of you unless you do things to show that you accept them. They can come across as helpful to a fault and be nosy. They often struggle to distance themselves from unhealthy or toxic people or situations. Some fictional type 2s are Peeta Mellark from The Hunger Games, Molly Weasley from the Harry Potter book series, and Annie Wilkes in Misery. Type 3. Type 3s are motivated by a need to achieve and be successful. They often say they were practical and maybe trustworthy children who learned that you need to impress others in order to be liked and accepted. They can come across as show-offs and be dishonest about their lives. In other words, they can withhold information to make their life seem better or more interesting. They often struggle to be authentic or step away from work. Some fictional type 3s are Cheryl Blossom in Riverdale, Rachel Berry in Glee, and even though this is a real person, I think Oprah Winfrey is a shining example of a healthy type 3. Type 4. Type 4s are motivated by a need to be special or significant. They often say they were more vocal and bossy children who learned that they were too much for some people to handle. They can come across as moody and introverted. They often struggle to let go of disappointments and often blame themselves for anything negative in their lives. Some fictional type 4s are Anne Shirley in Anne of Green Gables, Blanche Dubois in A Streetcar Named Desire, and I'm not 100% certain on this one, but maybe Jane Eyre from the novel of the same name. Type 5. Type 5s are motivated by a need to understand the world around them in order to survive in it. They often say they were confident and curious children who learn that sometimes you don't always get what you need in life. They can come across as cold and cynical. They often struggle to reach out to others and be present. Some fictional type 5s are Jonathan Byers from Stranger Things, Dr. House from House, and Newt Scamander from Fantastic Beasts. Type 6. Type 6s are motivated by a need to keep themselves safe. They often say they were independent and trusting children who learned that not everyone and everything is trustworthy. They can come across as anxious and fearful. They often struggle to trust authority figures and themselves. Some fictional type 6s are Linus Baker in The House in the Cerulean Sea, Ron Weasley in the Harry Potter books, and Frodo Baggins in The Lord of the Rings. Type 7. Type 7s are motivated by a need to keep life interesting and fun. They often say they were inquisitive and cheerful children who learned that life can't always be the way you want it to be. They can come across as aloof and enthusiastic. They often struggle to focus and ignore their own problems. Some fictional type 7s are Ariel from Disney's The Little Mermaid, Peter Pan from Disney's Peter Pan, and Lorelai Gilmore from Gilmore Girls. Type 8. Type 8s are motivated by a need to protect themselves. They often say they were supportive and kind children who learned that the world is a cruel place. They can come across as intense and highly opinionated. They often struggle to talk things out and show compassion. Some fictional type 8s are Stanley Kowalski in A Streetcar Named Desire, Harry Potter in the Harry Potter books, and Winifred Sanderson in Hocus Pocus. Type 9. Type 9s are motivated by a need to protect their inner world from the outside world. They often say they were outgoing, friendly children who learned that being open means conflict. They can come across as complacent and stubborn. They often struggle to admit feelings or be direct in communication. Some fictional type 9s include Baby from Dirty Dancing, Jamie Fraser from Outlander, and possibly any version of Peter Parker in the Spider-Man movies. Well, I really hope that was a fun and interesting video for you. I would love to do more things like this and go into deeper dives about the Enneagram throughout this year. Again, if you enjoyed this video, please click the like button, consider buying me a coffee, and either way, I will definitely see you next month as we deep dive into another work of fiction where I get to type the characters. I'll see you guys then.